morning. I'm back up in the bedroom, mainly because the sun is shining up here and it's better light, and I'm finding better light for filming up here. It's such a struggle when it's in the lower regions of the house. Anyway, so I'm wearing a top I don't show very often. I have worn it before, a long time ago, but it's one I made in acrylic as a sample, and I want to recreate this again because it reminds me very much, or I got reminded very much by Karma Rosa, who I was watching on the Fruity Knitting podcast this time, and she was mentioning that she designed some children's tops with the crochet yoke, and it just reminded me of that, of this one. So I thought I'd get it out and put it on again, see what I like and dislike about it. The one thing I do dislike about it is that elastic, and the only reason I put elastic in was because it was falling over my shoulder. So yeah, this needs to be rethought. I'd knitted it from the bottom up, knitted the sleeves to the bottom up, then joined them all together, sewing the, I think I actually sewed that together, did I? Yeah, I sewed that together. You don't need to sew it together. If you joined it there, you could have actually done the decreases up on the needles. But anyway, that's what I did. I had it all cast off, and then I picked all the stitches up with a crochet hook, and then did a few rows in my specific stitch pattern that I like, that I have been using for quite some time. So I kind of wanted this to blend in with the rest of my crochet wardrobe. So I did this kind of repeat, and then I did another repeat, but I think I was decreasing on this repeat. But the circular yoke, when I knit it, I know how to calculate that. I can do a similar thing with the crochet. It's just a matter that the crochet stitch is bigger than the knit stitch, so you need to know how many rows you need to do, and you also need to know how many stitches between each decrease or increase you need to do. How will I do it? I think I will start from the neck like I would do normally and work downwards, and then I can then pick up all the stitches along here, which will be very nice and neat, and knit downwards, dividing with the sleeve. Will I do it crochet all the way down? I don't know. I'm thinking about that one. I'm also thinking about putting some little motifs somewhere along that, sorting out the different stripes. As you can see, the stripes go all the way down to this last one, which is the blue, which I've picked out up here on the flower. Will I do the flower again? Don't know. I'll have to think about that one. Definitely flowers are back, so it could well be a good idea. Could I do roses as well? I don't know. I will think about that as I go along. That will be my last piece of the work anyway, because that actually does get sewn on to the yoke. What yarn am I going to use? Well, a lovely viewer of mine, she's a subscriber and she's so generous, has sent me and gifted me these beautiful colours. You know, I was mentioning about this the other week, and I was mentioning how much I'd gone into the shop and seen these beautiful colours. because I loved the jade and the lime together. And also one of my favourite colours, as you know, is the violet. And I'd made a beautiful cushion in it and with other colours. So she sent me these, and not just them, a goodly number. So I am now going to decide how I'm going to integrate these colours into this sweater. And you see, I think I've got enough that could go down to a 3/4 sleeve even. But it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's the Spindrift by Jamesons of Shetland. I've got violet, which is colour number 600. I've got jade, which is colour 787. And I've got this lovely lime, which is 780. Oh, they're so beautiful. What I've decided to do is do a little motif, including a few little colours that I've got left. And that was Loganberry, was it? I think it was Loganberry. Lichen and Poppy. So I just put a little picture of my ideas. Now, my ideas have changed since I did that picture, because I had thought of doing this top in this beautiful wavy old shale stitch. Now, this was spring last year, wasn't it? The daffodil and tulip suit. So I thought, yeah, I would like to recreate that. This is not done on a circular needle, it's just done in pieces and sewn up. But it has some beautiful colours in it. But I didn't have to do 5 colours. I can do 3 colours and that would be sufficient. But because I have these oddballs, I can then therefore integrate a little edging between each stripe, which will give it a lovely feel, a lovely look. In fact, actually, you can see that on the pictures. So that's in my mind at the moment. So I've got 2 options. The crocheted top with a little Fair Isle detail, or when I say crocheted top, it's the crochet yoke with a knitted body top with a little bit of Fair Isle detail somewhere here maybe. I think that would probably be nice. Or do I do, which is very popular at the moment, a pattern that includes the beautiful wavy old shale stitch. Yeah, so that's my plans for spring. Work out what I'm going to do as my next pattern. I have got one that's in progress and I'm going to show you a bit of that at the end of the video. The other thing that I have, and it's a bit of frogging time because I'm not wearing this, I don't seem to gravitate to it, and that is this pink skirt. It had a beautiful stitching down the sides with a little panel of lace and a bit of a ribby stitch and just a plain centre. So, but it's big. It came out too big. I did wear it and everybody said, oh, that's a lovely skirt, but you know when you don't feel comfortable in it? And the back is the same. I wore that with my lovely pink cardigan. So I've decided that I can unpick it from the top, because I work from the bottom upwards, unpick it from the top, and therefore I can start unraveling it, or frogging it, as everybody says. It was made of two strands of 4-ply to make a double knit feel. I think this was a Stylecraft 4-ply. So what I'm thinking of doing is just frogging it and using the yarn for something else. I don't know what yet. It'll probably, I will probably do another of my new pattern, because it's a nice pink, and I like my new pattern is pretty. You'll love my new pattern. And I could knit up that pattern in this. This was 2 pieces, because you can see there's a little seam down the side there. So I'm going to have to unpick the seam, undo the casing, which is not too bad because I haven't sewn that casing up. I never do that actually, because the reason being is my waistline changes. I can either tighten it up, there you go, tighten it up there, or untighten it, loosen it. So yeah, so that's not going to be too hard to do, and there's a good amount of yarn in that. And then I have, as I say, I can do my lovely little new t-shirt in it. And also I could probably try a long sleeve t-shirt, because the one I've designed and the pattern, and there's a pattern coming for, is short sleeved. Yeah, so that's a project in itself. It's a shame though, because there was a lot of knitting in it, and I finished it when I was in the hotel in the Moxie Hotel in Glasgow at the SSE, or it's called the OVO now, and I finished it the night before I wore it, which was, I'd been sort of playing on with it for quite a while, because it's quite a lot of work in it. So yeah, so yes, as I say, a lot of work in it, but I'm not wearing it, so I'm going to frog it. I don't frog many things. As you know, I frogged a sundress which was made in a beautiful aqua colour, Aspen I think it was, Stylecraft Special DK, and so therefore I think that skirt was special 4-ply. They have a range of special DK 4-ply and Aaron's and such like, so I did that. So yeah, shame, but sometimes you need to frog things, and then at least you're not wasting the yarn that you've used. I've got a lot of little bits in here I was just noticing before. I made a couple of my bucket hats with some of this. I've obviously tried to do a circle. I might have to use that in something. I don't know what I was doing here, but I've done a strip, a long strip. Maybe I was thinking I was going to do a blanket with it, but I just haven't got enough. But there's lots of little bits in there. Lovely sunny yellow, beautiful bright pink, black, tiny bit of blue left, and of course the favourite, magenta, which is in here. Yeah, so that's a play around. I might do a few hats. And on the subject of hats, I made this hat some time ago to go with one of my crochet dresses, and I love this because of the flower on it. Let's put it on. That's it. Ooh. Yeah. It's more of a, it's got a bit of a beanie to it, and it's got that flower. I presume that's so you can see that okay. So what I've decided to do is any scrap yarn I will make into these little hats, because it uses them up, and then basically I might put 1 or 2 on the shop. Yeah, no, I haven't set the shop up, if you're asking. Not yet, not yet. We're getting there. We've got something really special going on there soon as well. Now, one of my lovely viewers, wanted me to design something for a man in my sort of colour imagination. And he suggested that I ask Malky what he would like. Malky does like colour. He's fairly conservative, but he does like colour. And he will wear my ties. He loves the ties that I've designed. Particularly this one is his favourite. And we're going to use this colour here. Now, I've found a colour online, and I've found a stitch pattern that I like, and I'll just put it up there on the screen. And I've found the kind of collar design I'd like to do for it. So that's in the pipeline. So for now, I'm going to go back downstairs, and there is something else I'd like to show you, and maybe we'll catch up on some of the baby items I've done too. Would you like that? Well, stay on for a little bit longer, and while you're at it, can you like and subscribe and put a comment in if you're enjoying what I'm doing? So here we are back on my sofa. And I'm on with my collection of baby items. Instead of crocheting this time, I'm doing a little knitting, and I've actually started experimenting with a stitch I've wanted to do for such a long time, and that is the 2-colour brioche stitch. Yes, as you remember, I made some lovely accessories in my episodes recently, using the brioche stitch, just plain brioche. But to make the 2-colour brioche involves a lot more work. I found the plain one easy. I've done that right. Hang on a second. I've just dropped a couple of stitches, I think. Yeah, I found the plain brioche quite easy. This one takes more work because it involves knitting the same row twice, but using 2 different colours. So I'm at the moment, I've changed colour from this beautiful sort of bright orange yellow into a blue colour. I'm marling these colours together for another effect, which I'm quite enjoying, and it uses up some of my yarns anyway. So for the main colour throughout, I have the cerise and the purple, and I'm working them together for... I'm going to show the front to you now, because this is what is basically the front. It works all the way through. That brioche rib there is all in that same colour. The background colours, which show up on the other side, as you can see when I'm knitting it, are in different colours. So for instance, this one here is a mixture of the sunflower yellow and the orange. That one is the red and the pink. This one is the denim and the mint. And this one's a new colour that I haven't used on anything yet, and that is the mustard with the beige. So yeah, it's beautiful, and I still got green to use up, which I'm going to probably use with the mint. And I also have a couple of new colours, and that is a silvery grey and a coppery colour. So they will be introduced into the mix to finish this, what is essentially a pram blanket. I've got all tangled up again, just bear with me while I untangle myself. So I'm knitting across in the main colour at the moment. And when I get to the other end, and this is what's so interesting about this stitch, is when I get to the other end, I've got a little bit of blue there, but I've got nothing on the end of that, so I can't knit back with it. So when I get to the end, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. So let me just slip that one, knit it before I lose it again. Slip, knit, slip, knit. And what you're doing with these stitches is you're slipping the purl stitch and knitting the 2 loops that you've created together. And this is creating the brioche rib. It's a form of double knitting, basically, because you've got that slip stitch in there. The slip stitch creates that stitch, and when you're doing this side, it creates that one. So I bring my yarn forward, I slip it, and then because I have a knit stitch and an over stitch, I knit them both together, because if I didn't, I'd be increasing stitches all the time. So that's how I keep the same amount of stitches on each row. So what I'm doing is I slip the stitch. Oops. They get stuck together sometimes. So you have to make sure you're not knitting too many together. Here we go. Right. So what I'm doing is I bring my yarn forward. I slip the purl stitch. Then what I do is I knit into the next two stitches with that yarn still forward, and then I put it over the back and knit with it, and therefore I've made another stitch. And so that's how I brioche. If you're just doing a plain brioche, that's all you do all the time. But when you've got two colours, this is where it gets more exciting. So I've come to the end of the row. I can't knit back, and this is the exciting part about it. When somebody devised this, I can't knit back now in that colour, because otherwise I won't get the effect. If I just knit back in the same colour, I would just be doing a plain brioche. So what I have to do is I have to work this on a circular needle. So therefore I go back, push my stitches up to the other end where the next colour is. So and then I bring my needle around and I knit again, knit across again, and do this all the way up. I never really turn my work very much. So then I knit into the next stitch, for always got one garter stitch at the edge, and then I do exactly the same thing this time, but I'm slipping the purple stitch purl-wise. Hang on a minute. Bring your yarn forward, slip it purl-wise, and then you're putting your wool round the back. So I go around like that and bring it forward, and then purl the two stitches that I made the last row. So, and therefore when you've purled it, it's at the front again. So slip it, wrap it around the back, and then purl two together. You've got to do that, or else you're not going to be able to purl two together, basically. So I'm actually knitting this row yet again. Slip, purl two together, slip, oops, purl two together. And when I get to the other end and I've done the whole amount, I do actually come and have two yarns at the same place. I've got the main colour yarn, and that yarn will be in that place, and then I will turn my work and knit with that one, leaving that one behind. And so therefore when you finish the next row, you will have to do exactly the same. Pull your needle, pull your stitches back the other way and start again. Yeah, sounds a bit complicated, but it's so effective. There's quite I picked this up off Pinterest. I keep if you go on my Pinterest account, all the links are always available in the top of the channel or in the description. If you go to my Pinterest page, you will find a board on brioche knitting, and it's all explained there. In fact, actually, I think I probably got this off a drops pattern, but adapted it for my own by just including a stripe of about 12 rows, I think it is. I just thought I wanted to change colour in it. I just wanted to see what it looked like. And I love it. I'm really enjoying doing it. And because I've doubled up the yarns, both balls of wool are double knit, I therefore have to go up my needle size. So I've upped my needle size to a 5mm, which is easier to knit with. I could have actually even gone up to a 6mm. You need to cast on multiples of 3 stitches to be able to achieve this result. So I used about 99 stitches in total. So as you can see, once you get into it, it's quite quick to do. The thing is you mustn't get lost. It's easy to get lost when you put it down. So know where you've put it down. Write yourself a little note if you're not confident enough just to leave it and come back to it. But I've got to that point now where I'm sort of, oh, you see, that's where I didn't do that proper. So, yes, you can tell when you've done something wrong. So yeah, purl 2 together. Yeah, if you don't put your wraparound, if you don't get the wraparound down properly, you will see it on the next row. You can see where it's not quite right, but it's easy enough to rectify by lifting the loop up and just knitting it, basically. Yeah. So every now and again I give it a little check just to make sure it's looking all right the other side. Yeah. So you can see where the blue's changing to the blue now. That's a navy and a denim. I love it from the back side, but I also love it from the front side because I love what it does. So it's a reversible blanket. Fabulous, isn't it? And it's got a bit of scrunch to it. Yeah, so I'll put that down for now. So that's what I've started on this week. Malcolm and I were gobsmacked by this new stitch. Last week's video, number 52, was about all the yarns I use. You do not have to use polyester yarns on these. You can use anything within reason. If you want to use cashmere, use cashmere. So that's a little red cardigan made in a stitch similar to my little crochet hat that I showed you earlier on today. It's a little lace stitch, so that's a lace cardigan. I could see that lace cardigan in an adult version. Would make a nice adult cardigan, that stitch. So that's a little V-neck cardigan. As I say, all these need buttons on yet before they go on my shop. Do the little bow up. I'm thinking I've not shown you is one I've tried out. Now, I don't know if this is going to be very successful, but it's one I've tried out, and it's very much, to me, like a kimono style. Everything needs buttons at the moment, so it's not going to look extremely clever. So it's a long kimono coat with a couple of little sleeves and a collar. You can put it out as a collar over the shoulders like that, or you can have it up like that if you want. On the back it's crocheted from a square, so that's the back and that's the front. Yeah, so that's a little try out. I think I quite like it actually. I like the sort of kimono feel to it. So I'll put that back in its little pouch. I don't know what's going on there. It's a bit tight on there, strangely. Oh, I see. It's because the knots, that's it. The knot had come round, so it was stopping everything from opening up. So yes, I'm looking forward to putting the buttons on that and seeing that it works nicely. So that's that one. I'm thinking of doing a little hat with that, with a little flower on it, with whatever yarns I've got left. Yeah, this one. Oh, I know what this one was. Yeah, I thought I'd put it with the one, well, a couple of little things it'll go with. And that is as I've made a little skirt. Yeah, cute, isn't it? With a frill on the bottom and a little, obviously, a 3-colour cord with a couple of tassels. So it's quite a little peasanty skirt, isn't it? I thought that was cute. I liked that. Yep, so that's another one. I'd forgotten I'd done that. Gee, what a memory I've got, eh? So I'll put that in there. Yeah, I love the little frill. Denim blue frill at the bottom. And then these are all individual. You'll never get two the same with these. I'm going to have to photograph them all to remind myself about what I did. Now, what was this? Ah, there you go. That was the hexagon cardigan. I think I have shown you that one before. Yes, it was on the thumbnail for that video. Lovely, isn't it? I love that. Put that back in. So we've already seen that one. So if you go back to number 51, episode 51, you'll see everything that I've actually done so far. And then this one, I don't think I've shown you this one. All the rest I know I've shown you. Come on, come on, come on, open up. Now this was another trial, but it's more of a very retro peplum cardigan. Again, all need buttons. So there's the sleeves and the peplum. And what the peplum is made up of is the corners of squares, basically. And that's what gives it its little peplum bottom, because they're all corners of squares. So what I've done is increased from the bottom of the plain bit and made corners, and that's what's given it its little peplum. Yeah, I like that. Mint with a bit of orange. So yes, So what has been sort of bumbling through my brain is that once these are done and up on the shop, it's really entirely up to you what you want to do with them. Basically, you can either use them as dolls' clothes. You can either use them as I thought it would be great for props for photographers, you know, who for baby photographers. I thought that, or why not use them as baby clothes? They're entirely washable, and if they give you some ideas of what you can make yourself, then that's even better, because I only have one pair of hands. I am not a what's the word, production line, although sometimes I feel like it. So yeah, so you can see the collection is building up. At some point or other, when I get to the end of the blanket, because I thought I could do the blanket, there's lots of bits and pieces here. Look, it's coming, look at that. There's lots of bits and pieces here. When I get to a certain stage, I'll have lots of little bits left. Sorry, I just put that away. I'll have lots of bits left. I have a lot of this left. Now, some of that's going into the blanket. Might do another blanket, I don't know yet. But the other project I was working on was this top, which is made up of ribbed sections going off at tangents, which I love. It's so shapely. But I got to a point where I'm going to have to pull back a bit because I've somehow got myself looped up here. So I'm going to have to knit back. So I've just put that to one side at the moment and carried on with getting the baby things sorted. This is the mustard I talked to you about. That's coming up. What I want to do is do a few leggings. So I'll probably do a few leggings in this colour, and I've got some grey, which I'll do. And I might even do a legging in that colour. Leggings are always useful. I started on something here which didn't turn out how I expected, so I'm going to have to unpick that one. I tried a crocheted sleeve because I wasn't liking what I was doing with the knitted bit, so that's going to have to be undone. But I was doing the old shell edging. I thought that would be nice, but I think I'm going to have to rethink that one. That's it for today. So I'm just tootling along with all my little jobs. In a bit, I will put up a little section on the new pattern and how that's coming along. So I might do that, and actually instead of putting it on the end of this video, I might do it in a few days' time, but I will show you some pictures of what it looks like so far. Okay, so lovely to see you again, and whatever your weather is in your part of the world, enjoy it. I hope it's nice for you, and keep knitting, and see you again next time. Bye now.